So here students, today again we'll move in this chapter number first, that was crop production and this management. We will continue this chapter, and here we were talking about the agricultural practices. At first we have read about the soil preparation, then in the previous lecture I have told you about the sowing of seeds. Then next thing today we are talking, that will be the third agricultural practice, that will be the addition of fertilizers and manure. See, here you have two terms. When the soil is prepared, when the soil is prepared, then seeds we have sown, then after the addition of the seeds there needs to be the addition, there is the need of addition of fertilizers and manure. We add fertilizer and manure to the field. Now here we have two terms, what are fertilizers and what are manures. So you see there is a difference, basic difference between fertilizer and manures. If I talk about the manures, so manures are organic in nature. Manures are, I can write here, manures are organic in nature. Okay, organic in nature, and they do not cause any pollution to the nature also. It does not cause any pollution. Okay, so and it does not, and it do not cause, and it do not cause pollution in, it do not cause pollution in nature. It do not cause pollution in nature, and it is made up of purely of like dung, animal dungs, and like compost material where the leaves are there, and etc. These are the things, means the compost material. Okay, so it is purely made up of dung and compost material. Okay, here you can write, it is purely made of dung and compost material. Okay, so means that is why when there is nowadays there is in this prevalence like the organic farming. So organic farming, what is this organic farming? Means whatever you are producing, we are not using their fertilizer, we are using their manures only. Means the soil is not polluted. Okay, so only the manures are used there. That is why it is important for the process of organic farming, which is in prevalent nowadays, which is very prevalent, this organic farming. Okay, so for organic farming these manures are must. So I have written here, manures are organic in nature and it do not cause pollution in nature. It is purely made of dung and compost material. These are manure. Now when we talk about the fertilizers, so fertilizers are not organic in nature, they are artificial in nature, they are human made. They are made in the means in the laboratories, in the factories, they are made there. Okay, they are synthesized there. You can say fertilizers are, I can write here, fertilizers are artificial in nature and cause pollution to the nature also. It causes pollution and causes pollution also. Okay, basically we have three types of fertilizers, like nitrogen fertilizers, phosphorus fertilizers, and potassium fertilizers. Okay, basically we have nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium fertilizers, also called as, what we usually call them as NPK fertilizers. NPK fertilizers. Okay, so these are the fertilizers. So fertilizers are artificial in nature, they causes pollution also. Okay, because they are not made up of the organic material. Okay, so they causes pollution. But these fertilizers are very important, they are widely used when there was the green revolution, when there was the era of the green revolution during the year of 1970s, so these fertilizers were widely used at that time for more and more production of this crop. Okay, so for the boost in agriculture sector, so these fertilizers were widely used. You can write here, fertilizers were widely used during the era of green revolution in 1970s. When the year of, in the year of 1970s, so these fertilizers were used more and more amount. So due to this, there was a boost in agriculture sector, more and more crops were grown, grains were grown, but later it was seen that, it was realized later that it harmed the soil. These fertilizers harm the soil. Later it was seen, it was realized later that yes, fertilizers are harming our soil. The quality of the soil was now degraded. Okay, but later, I can write it, but later it was realized that it harmed the soil, means the quality of the soil was degraded. And now the next crop, if you are going in that one soil, the next crop and the amount, the crop which you are growing in the next season, so the quality again there was degraded. So that is why it was realized that yes, they are causing pollution in the nature. Okay, but if we talk about the benefit of fertilizers, so if you see, manures are giving manures have the water retention capacity, means when you have manures there in the field and you are giving water to the field, so more and more water will be retained in the field, and that is why it will provide humus to the plants for its growth. But if we talk about the fertilizers, so fertilizers give more and more amount of nutrient more than the manures. Manures do not give more amount of nutrient to the plant. Rather, the fertilizers are giving more amount of nutrient to the plants. That is why there is more growth of the crop. Okay, the growth of crop is more in case of the fertilizer when you are using it. Okay, because it provides more amount of nutrients to the plants, but later it causes the pollution also. Okay, so here I can write, fertilizers give more amount of nutrients to the plants. Okay, means they are giving more amounts of nutrient more than the manures. Okay, are you getting this? So this was all about the next agricultural practice, that was addition of fertilizer and manures. Okay, so if you are talking about the manures are not giving, they are also giving nutrients to the plants, but not in more amount. Okay, because but one benefit of the manure is that yes, the water retention capacity in case of the manures is more, because in case of manures there in the field, so more and more water will be retained in the field, and if more and more water is there, it will provide humus to the plants, so there will be the proper growth of the plant. But if you are putting their fertilizers in the field, so they are providing more and more amount of nutrients, so the plant will grow immediately, there will be the more and more amount of crop in the field, but later it causes pollution also. Okay, so now you must be knowing what are the manures and what are the fertilizers. Okay, then see you.